Good morning, yogis. In this closing ceremony, we will be having question and answer session. Questions have been translated into English, and I will first read the first question that has been translated. Question number 1. Can meditation be effective, making people reluctant to look for a job or income at all? To answer this question, I would say it depends on the individual. During the Buddha's time, lay people like lay devotee like devotee Visakha, the lay female devotee, she became a Sotapanna after meeting the Buddha for the first time, listening to the Dhamma. She became a Sotapanna, and she continued to be in the worldly life. So she would be doing her daily chores, of course, as a housewife. But she spent most of her time taking care of the Sangha, what needs to be done for the Sangha. If the Sangha is sick, she will bring like medicine or food that will be suitable for the Sangha who is sick. And then she would support the Sasana in many different ways, what needs to be done, what for the Sangha as a support. So in this case, the devotee Visakha stayed in the lay life, continue her daily chores at home, as well as spend most of her time time in supporting the sasana, attending to the Buddha as well as the Sangha, offering appropriate and necessary things as a support to sasana. Also, the lay male devotee, Anatha Pendika, he also was a Riya person, a noble person, and he offered the Jetavana monastery to the Buddha. Anatha Pendika, after he became a Riya, he stayed in the lay life. He will have businesses, of course, but probably he managed his businesses through another person like manager or in that way. But he stayed in the worldly life, so he would still have his business running. The income that he get from the business, most of his earning, he would be offering to the Buddha, the monastery, supporting the sasana. So lay people like Anatha Pendika and Visakha, they stayed in the worldly life. They were Ariya who stayed on in the worldly life, but they make a lot of support to the sasana. They are very devoted to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So it depends on the person or the individual. The lay devotee like Anatha Pendika and Visakha, of course, they would practice meditation. They already attain the path and fruition knowledge. They are already Ariya. They stayed in the worldly life, but they also do a lot of meditation as well as support the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So even during the Buddha's time, lay devotees who are already Sotapanna or Sakadagami, They are lay people who are already Sotapanna and Sakadagami who chose to stay in the worldly life. Of course, they would meditate. They stay in the worldly life at home, but they meditate and they devoted to the triple gem will be supporting the sasana. But Anagami, if one has reached, become Anagami person wouldn't like to stay in the worldly way. So an Anagami, when or Anagami would would do more meditation, more in the sasana way. Anagami doesn't have interest in the worldly things. During the Buddha's time, there was a layman by the name of Vesakha. This Vesakha became an Anagami, and after he became an Anagami, he wasn't interested in the wife anymore because Anagami is not interested in worldly pleasure. So he told the wife that even though he doesn't renounce as a monk, he would stay in separate rooms. Whatever the possession, he would give it to the wife. He will be content with whatever food, whatever clothes the wife will give him. He will be content. So that means he wouldn't be taking care of business or whatever. He wants to give it all to the wife. But the wife, after hearing his attainment, the wife wanted to practice, and she ordained as a bhikkhuni, practiced the Dhamma, and became an arahat. So to answer this question, can meditation be effective, making people reluctant to look for a job or income at all? It depends on the person, it depends on the individual. Some person, some individual, after hearing the Dhamma, their faith and confidence in the sasana become strong that they no longer want to live in the worldly life, but they will renounce and practice as a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni or Sayālay or whatever. So it depends on the person. But even if a person is Sotapanna or Sakadagami, the person may still be in the business, doing business at home. So it depends on the choice of the person. It also depends on the parami. It also depends on the choice that the person or individual makes. Yeah.
Yes, Sayālay.
Second question is the translation that was given to me. Honorable Sayālay, please explain my question. When I do walking meditation in the retreat, there is a thought, for example, memory, plan, idea, regret, then the problem arises. Why should it be noted if there is no danger? Well, when I do walking meditation at home, I can solve the problem instead of when I was in retreat. Like as it was difficult idea could come out at the time and the right decision also came out. Thank you. Actually, the purpose of doing walking meditation in the retreat is to cultivate mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom by being mindful of the step, lifting, moving, placing, and so on. So when doing walking meditation, the focus of attention is kept on the foot, lifting, moving, placing, and so on. Noting the step, lifting, moving, placing, making effort to note the step, mindfulness on the lifting, the concentration, the mindful, calm, collected on lifting, so that one comes to understand what nature is in the lifting, what nature in the moving, what nature in placing. So the objective of doing walking meditation is to cultivate sati, samadhi, and panya, and to remove the defilement by being mindful moment by moment, one after another, second by second. So during the walking meditation, when like memory or planning or idea or regret arises, just bring the mind back to the step, lifting, moving, placing. If the person is carried away by memory, planning, idea, regret, it takes time away from mindfulness. That's why yogis are advised to bring the mind back to the step while doing walking meditation. And he is talking about solving problem. So I don't know what solving problem he means, but in the meditation, while we are doing walking meditation, being mindful of the step, we are trying to solve the problems that are caused by kilesa defilement. That is, by being mindful of the step, lifting, moving, placing, we cultivate sati, samadhi, and panya by mindful of lifting, moving, placing. In this way, cultivating sati, samadhi, and panya by being mindful of lifting, moving, placing, kilesa defilements have no chance to arise. And thus, there will be no problem that are caused by kilesa defilements at the moment we are being mindful of the object, lifting, moving, placing. And when sati, samadhi, and panya become strong, we cultivate bhavana maya panya. The knowledge we cultivate through the practice of satipatthana during walking meditation, we come to accumulate, we come to cultivate knowledge through experiential practice by being mindful of lifting, moving, placing. So in this way, the knowledge that can be cultivated by being mindful of lifting, moving, placing, one can come to understand the unique individual characteristics of the nama rupa, and then continuing the practice, one can come to discern the impermanent suffering and non-self through the practice of meditation, through this experience of practice by being mindful of the object. As a yogi, yogis are encouraged to note the present arising object, not to be thinking about the past, not to be planning, not to be longing for the future, what is to be done in the future. One should not be planning for the future, but as a yogi, one should be mindful of the present arising object that is arising at the present moment. Okay, so I will move on to the third question. Yeah. The third question is translated as, how to keep the spirit to remain meditation every day at home. So in the beginning of the retreat, I explained that people take shower, wash the clothes in order to keep the body, to have cleanliness, to be hygienic, to keep the body hygienic. In the same way, we need to keep the mind clean also. That is, we need to practice Satipatthana meditation in order to keep the mental defilement, the mental dirt away. So through the practice of Satipatthana, we can remove the mental impurities moment by moment, part-time, until we can finally get rid of all the impurities that arise in the mind. So everybody wants peace of mind, yeah? So long as there are defilements such as wanting, angry, depressed, upset, so long as these defilements are present, the mind will not be at peace. In order to have peace of mind, we need to get rid of these defilements. We need to remove the defilement. If the defilement is not arising in the mind, there is peace of mind. And by now, yogi have also experienced that every moment they are being mindful, for that moment, the mind is at peace. So in this way, whoever likes to have peace of mind should do regular meditation practice so as to remove the defilements moment by moment in a part-time basis, so that even at home, as much they can meditate, for that much you will have peace of mind. And yogis also, they understand from the experience how defilements cause suffering. Yeah? If defilements such as greed or anger that arises in the mind, at the moment these defilements are arising in the mind, it causes suffering in the mind, as well as it causes suffering physically also. So anyone who does not want suffering, they should have mindfulness. Yeah? The moment there is mindfulness, for that moment, these defilements cannot arise, and for that moment, mental suffering doesn't arise, and this mental suffering will not cause physical suffering. So in this way, someone who doesn't like to have suffering should be mindful so that there is no mental suffering, and physical suffering will also get lessened if there is no mental suffering. And of course, there will be more peace the more one is mindful. And the fourth question, it says, Honorable Sayālay Daw Cārudassinī, please explain how long would be for sitting meditation. If he feels good or comfortable, can there arise the aloba if it is more than 1 hour? In the retreat, there are alternate periods of sitting and walking meditation. And the sitting period is at least an hour, yeah, at least 1 hour. So in order to balance sitting and walking meditation, alternate hours, 1 hour walking meditation, 1 hour sitting meditation in order to balance. So in this retreat, 1 hour is the ideal. Yeah, the yogi meditates at least an hour during the sitting meditation. And he asks, if he feels good or comfortable, can there arise the lobha? So in the sitting meditation, when the yogi experiences good feeling or comfortable feeling, not to be attached to this good feeling or comfortable feeling. In order not to be attached, if one feels good, if the good feeling is obvious, note it as good. If comfortable feeling becomes obvious, one has to note it as comfortable, so as not to be attached with this good or comfortable feeling. So if the yogi cannot note good, comfortable feeling, one can become attached with it. In order not to let it happen, be mindful as it is. If you feel good, note it as good. If you feel comfortable, note it as comfortable, so that attachment cannot arise based on that good, comfortable feeling. And the question asks if it is more than 1 hour. That depends, yeah. So the sitting period is at least an hour. But when the practice progresses, yeah, when the yogi's knowledge becomes strong, even after 1 hour, if yogi's mindfulness is still strong, a yogi may continue the sit, yeah, longer than 1 hour. But it all depends. If the viriya and samadhi, if effort and concentration is balanced, and if the mindfulness is strong, after an hour, yogi may continue the sit. So it depends. Whether the yogi sits more than an hour or not, if the mindfulness is still strong, if viriya and samadhi are balanced, yogi can continue the sit even if 1 hour is up. So in this case, when viriya, sati, and samadhi are strong, yogi can continue to sit, and lobha cannot arise so long as yogi is being mindful, so long as yogi is having viriya, sati, samadhi, noting the object. And question number 5. Dear Sayālay, please advise what is the ideal preparation before retreat? Atha Sila practice reduce the hectic life before retreat. Thank you. For people, in order to join the retreat, yeah, it's also a kind of renunciation. For example, if they are joining the retreat for 10 days, it's also kind of renunciation as a yogi for 10 days, yeah. So in order to join the retreat, preparations such as like before you leave your home to join the retreat, your business matter, families matters. It's better to ask someone to take care of family matters, business matters, so that while you are in the retreat, you will not be thinking about your business or family. And also, like if you are going to do 10-day retreats, then keep in your mind that you will let go of the attachment in the family, in the business, in having worldly pleasure, having fun. Such should be renounced for 10 days if you are coming to join the retreat for 10 days. So within these 10 days, you let go of the attachments on these family business so that you can concentrate more on the meditation, on the satipatthana practice. So in this way, letting go of this attachment on these matters, then within these 10 days, you can concentrate more on the meditation. So in the meditation, there should be kaya viveka. Of course, yogis are practicing alone, even they are doing group sitting, but they keep to themselves concentrating, being mindful of what is arising in the nama rupa. It is kaya viveka, staying alone, practicing by oneself. Yeah, and there should be citta viveka. Citta viveka is seclusion of the mind. Yeah? Even though one is doing sitting meditation, walking meditation, but if in the mind there arises defilements, thinking about the past or being attached to the experiences that one had, if the defilements are arising in the mind, there will not be citta viveka. In order to have citta viveka, in order to have seclusion of the mind, one needs to be mindful so that attachment, greed, anger doesn't arise in the mind. So long as these defilements do not arise in the mind, there will be citta viveka, and the meditation will progress faster. And the yogis say Atta Sila practice reduce the hectic life before retreat. Thank you. So yes, during the meditation retreat, it is good to take at least the 8 precepts or the 9 precepts. Taking 8 precepts or the 9 precepts, that includes like not taking food in the afternoon. That gives more time for meditation practice, refraining from beautifying, as well as watching shows, refraining from watching shows, refraining from beautifying. That also keeps the mind pure so that it is conducive for meditation, and living, sitting and lying on both, not on a luxurious bed or sofa. That's also a way of keeping oneself more in a simple life that is conducive for meditation. And number 6 question is, what is the purpose to focus one step movement? Is it for concentration only, or also to observe phenomena or sensation arising from its foot itself, and not only other mental phenomena? So in the retreat, in the first part of the walking period, yogi does one step walking, right, left, paying attention on the foot that is making the step. So being mindful of one step walking, one pays attention on the foot so that the mindfulness and concentration will be continuous, as well as not to let defilements arise. Defilement will arise if there is lack of mindfulness. In order not to let it happen, in the first part of the walking period, one does right, left, focusing on the foot, so that one will be cultivating sati and samadhi by being mindful of the step, right, left, so long as the mind is on the step, right, left, sati and samadhi will be cultivated, and defilement does not enter the mind so long as one is being mindful and concentrated on the object. So even when doing walking meditation, one step, right, left, for a few minutes, one can cultivate sati, samadhi, as well as remove the defilements by being mindful of right, left for a few minutes. And when the vipassana knowledge becomes strong, even in the first part of the walking period, noting right, left, one can come to discern the characteristics even in the one-step walking. If the vipassana knowledge becomes strong. But walking right, left is just a few minutes. But after that, one has to go on to lifting, placing, moving, and placing. And during the walking meditation, the most obvious object is the step. That's why yogis are asked to note on the step, lifting, moving, placing, and so on. But when thoughts arise, just bring the mind back to the foot. And if other mental phenomena arise, if you want to note it, stop walking while you are standing, you can note it. Yeah. But the main focus during the walking meditation is on the foot that is making that. Question number 7. Dear Sayālay, how to have another concentration with after this retreat? Thank you. So I think the yogi is asking what to do after he or she goes back home. So after, when this retreat is over, when you go home as well, within the 24 hours a day, if you can have at least an hour for meditation each day, it will be good. If you can have more time, it is even better. So please make time for regular meditation practice at home, at least an hour. And also when you are at home, if you are alone, you can be mindful of the daily activities as much as you can. Even though you may not have time to slow down, but as you do your daily activities at normal pace, try to have the general awareness so that this general awareness of daily activities is also a good support to your meditation practice. And whenever you have time, please join weekend retreats or 10-day retreats as much as you can to keep up your practice regular as possible, so that you can meet your goal in your meditation in this very life. Okay, so these are the answers to the questions. I hope these answers will be satisfactory and solve your question. Sadhu.
Sadhu. Sadhu.
I am very glad to have see the yogis practicing in this 10-day meditation retreat. Even though this 10-day meditation retreat is over, our journey to practice in order to attain our goal in life, we still need to keep on practicing. Our journey to Nibbana is still going. So when you go back home, please make time for meditation practice. As just now I've said, at least an hour a day. And also be mindful of the daily activities when you are doing at home. At home, you may not you don't have time to slow down. So as you do things in normal place, try to have awareness as much as you can. Especially like when you are in your shower, you are alone. So while you are alone in shower, you can be mindful of the opening, closing of the door. You can be mindful of rubbing soap and so on. The touch of the water and your body, coolness, hot. You can be mindful as much as you can to have general awareness. So this general awareness in your daily activities is also a good support to your meditation practice. Keeping general awareness of what is happening, you will also have a good control of yourself. And while you are in daily life, be mindful of your mental emotions arise. If you are mindful, you can prevent growth kind of defilement such as greed or anger that arises in the mind. And if you can catch as soon as anger arises in the mind, if you can catch it the moment it arises in the mind, then it doesn't grow by degree, so that you will have a control of yourself, not to let this anger grow by degree, or not to let the anger that arises in the mind to go into your speech or your action in the body. That is important also, because when you go home, people will be looking while you come back from meditation. But if you still lose your temper a lot, they will say, oh, so that's why be careful not to let it happen. Yeah? So in the Dhamma talk, there were what the Buddha taught that we should be fulfilled before the body breaks down, before the life ends, what the Buddha had said. So even when you go home after the retreat, daily practice, weekend retreat, 10-day meditation retreat will keep the yogi to be in the direction of reaching the goal in this very life. So I would like to make a wish that all of us, may we be able to have a smooth practice towards our goal, so that we will be able to reach our goal in this life before our body breaks down, before our life ends.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I forgive anyone who has done wrong by body, speech, and thought, so that they will live in peace and happiness.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
sadhu.